Hello, the topic for today is what is the Live Disease Free Academy? My name is Pam Bartha and I'm the author of Become a Wellness Champion and the founder of Live Disease Free. And we've had a lot of new people join our YouTube and our Facebook, our social media in the last few weeks because I did my live preview call about a week ago exactly. And so a lot of people are asking, what is this Live Disease Free Academy? I've never heard of it before. So today I wanted to answer your questions. If maybe you've just found me or you've heard about it and you have questions about it, I just wanted to go into detail about what makes it so incredibly special and so helpful for people that are looking to recover from chronic disease. So 30 years ago, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and by the grace of God and a lot of work on my part, I learned very early on that infections were causing my symptoms. And so as I focused on treating those infections, I have been able to stay or live multiple sclerosis free for the past 30 years. Actually, just in about the next month, it's going to be 31 years, which is so exciting. I had another child. I went back to university. I got a science degree. And in my heart, I just wanted to help people recover. But going through university, getting a science degree was a lot of work. And with 3 children, I thought and for my husband, it was quite torturous. So I went in to be a high school math and science teacher because I thought it would be practical, right? And I love kids. But it really prepared me for the work that I do today because I am a health coach. I am an educator. And so it really has taught me how to develop programs, how to assess my students, even in the academy. And when I was a high school math and science teacher, and the results are, it's changing people's lives. Why? And I'll talk about the academy, why it is so unique. So the Live Disease Free Academy, I created it because there is so much confusion out there. Number one, when we get sick, we usually start with standard of care. We go to our practitioners and we get the diagnosis and they offer us some options as far as what to use for treatment. And so with multiple sclerosis, it would be disease-modifying drugs. And then many of us find that we feel horrible on these drugs and we just get worse and worse and we become more and more sick. And so if we're health conscious, we may start to look at different options. We might start to watch videos and read books, and we start to change our diet and we start to exercise. And we read about all these wonderful supplements that they're miraculous. But we try a lot of things. And the more that we try and the more we read and the more videos we watch, the more confused we become. And I have talked to well over 700 people by now, and they share with me that, I'm really, really confused. I've spent a fortune, and nothing has really made the difference. Some people that I talk to, they have worked with wonderful integrated practitioners that are doing their very best with the knowledge that they have, and they may have spent upwards of $100,000 to $300,000 on their health, especially if they start to do, testing can be $6,000 to $10,000. Stem cell treatments can be $20,000. CCSVI has come down. It used to be $10,000. Now it's more like $4,000 to $5,000. And with the stem cell treatments, people are going back year after year because maybe they get a little bit of symptom improvement, but because they haven't treated the infections, the inflammation will continue and then they'll have to continue doing the treatment. So a lot of the different options that are out there are treating symptoms. And so when people find me, they're like, wow, this is the first time I've ever heard. I was talking to some people today. First time I've ever heard that my disease is caused by infections, especially parasites. We've heard about candida, fungus. We've heard about Lyme disease. And yes, parasites, but they're just not showing up on our tests. So our practitioners are not able to pick them up and not able to diagnose us, and they don't have the experience as far as recognizing the symptoms of parasites. So many of us, we we'll go to practitioners and we will try all these things. Maybe you guys can list some of the things you've tried. There can be acupuncture, Chinese medicine. And I'm not saying these things are wrong or bad, but I'm saying that if we don't treat the infections that are causing our symptoms, that we never ever get well. We might have a little bit of symptom improvement if, let's say, we're avoiding foods we're sensitive to and we're desensitizing and we're doing genetic testing and biofeedback and all of these things, but we do keep our disease and it does progress. It becomes worse over time because the infections have never been dealt with. So that's why I created the Live Disease Free Academy. It's really an accumulation of everything that I've learned in 31 years, not just from my own health and recovery, but I've had the amazing privilege to coach over 600 students in the academy. So we have some amazing, amazing insights. So it is a 3-month online course. And in that course, the students are building their game plan to recover. So this is not to manage their disease. This is not to keep their disease, but this is to take their health and their life back. How is that possible? Because we're treating the cause. And the cause would be, number one, infections. And the infections definitely cause nutritional deficiencies, plus the food in our environment that we're getting in the stores is very deficient. So we're optimizing nutrition and we are decreasing the toxins from our environment, but especially from these infections. And we're treating the infections. And that is really where the biggest shift of symptom relief and improvement comes. So in this 3-month program, the Live Disease Free Academy, there's 3 parts to it that I find really helpful. Number one is that we have a members area. So this is a course. All right. It is a very comprehensive course. And when students start it, within the first week or 2, they feel overwhelmed. They always because it's, what we're doing is they're joining us and there are students ahead of them that are well into the program and they're treating. And I find that this is really good because when a new student comes in, they hear all the successes of the students that are treating well into the treatment phase, but they also learn through osmosis, through just hearing and listening. And the first week is like, okay, there was quite a few things I didn't understand. But then as the second week and the third week, it's like, okay, I've heard those treatments before. Okay, I understand what she's talking about. And then by the time the student is ready to treat, which would be about 3 to 6 weeks into the program, it depends on them. It depends on when they are following the eating plan properly and noticing significant improvements. And I'm going to share with you what I'm looking for as a coach, because this really makes the treatment part really a lot more successful. So they're following the eating plan, then they're also supporting the body. And then they're looking at their symptoms and they're also understanding why they got sick, what happened to them, what happened in their life. Sometimes partially it's things we've done or haven't done, but then sometimes it is also things that were a little bit out of our control, especially if we were young and maybe we're getting medications from our doctors, etc. So then we're ready to start treating because we've supported the body. We have weakened the infections a bit and people start to feel better. And that means the inflammation is starting to go down. And this is very important for treatment. So the Live Disease Free Academy is a holistic approach to recovery where we are, the big thing is we're doing all the steps, the prep work to treat, and we're getting there as quick as possible. And we're not spending a lot of money on a lot of other therapies that may be okay. They might be nice, but they're really not going to make a difference in your outcome. All right. There are a lot of things that the students can do on their own, and that I share in my masterclass training. And you're more than welcome to listen to that if you're looking for a game plan to treat these infections to recover. So I won't go into great detail now, but basically they support the body and feed the body and weaken the infection through the eating plan, support the body. Then we start treating. And then we continue on with other things like mindset and building a healthy lifestyle and cleaning up our environment a lot. So it takes us a full 3 months to get to through the program. So you have access to this entire members area where it's really comprehensive, where my students, they learn how to read their blood work. They learn how to read labels of supplements so they don't have to spend a fortune on supplements anymore. They really learn how to be the director of their health. That is the only way we recover, is we have to take on that responsibility ourselves. We have to understand what we need to do to recover. So we have to take charge. And then as we play an active role in our health care, together with practitioners that we use, we actually reach our health goals. And that's what the Wellness Champions are doing. So again, we have the members area, which I always say that once a student registers, they have access to that for a full year after they register. My goal is that you don't need me in the future. My goal is that you learn this and you know how to take care of yourself for the rest of your life. That is my goal. I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, and a coach, and that's what my goal is. So we have the members area. We also have live Q&A calls on Tuesdays, and we have people in Wellness Champion students in up to 15 countries now. So that means that our European students are not joining us when it is 5 o'clock Pacific, because they should be in bed. All the students send in their questions and I answer them on the call. So when we meet together on these calls, it's like a super mastermind. They're hearing from students that are really, really disciplined and motivated, and they want their life back. And so it's a highly dedicated group of people. And so we share research, we share successes, we share all the questions that the students are having, and they're very good questions. And then the students that are brand new, they're just learning, kind of on the job training as far as what we should do, what we shouldn't do. It's all outlined in the program, but we learn differently. Sometimes we like to learn by reading. Sometimes we like to hear, we like to see. And that really helps us to have a much greater understanding of what we're learning. So again, the members area, then we have live Q&A calls every week on Tuesdays where our students get all their questions answered every week. And as a teacher, I have things very clearly laid out in the program, but I do know that people still have questions, and it's so important to get your questions answered every week. It's so important to have clarity. When you have clarity, you can move so much more quickly through the process. You can move so much more quickly to your recovery. And when I say 3 to 6 weeks to get to the treatment, it's up to the student. The student has access to the entire program. Some students work pretty quickly and some work more methodically and slowly. It depends too on how sick they are, how many meds they're on, how much brain fog they have, how much support they have, etc. And some people may not be eating vegetables. They might have been having sugar. I've had a couple of students that even smoked. And some of my other students are like, I've been eating low carb. I've been working with integrated practitioners already for a year or 2 or 3. I've been doing a lot of things, and so they can move a little bit more quickly. So those calls are really amazing, and they're always recorded. So we talk about a lot of things, and people can listen to them over if they need to. So again, we have weekly support. And what I expect from my students in the Live Disease Free Academy is I expect an email every week from them. Just a short point form. Hey Pam, this is where I'm at. These are my successes, or I'm stuck, I'm not improving, what am I doing wrong? And here's my workbook activity. There is a workbook where they're building their plan, and every week I'm checking and giving them feedback. So that is the big thing, is that very important to have feedback to course correct. And I'll be sharing with one of the students who's really new right now. He hasn't started treating. And just by taking the feedback, he's in Germany, and just by taking the feedback that I've given him, he's having miraculous improvements, and he hasn't even started treating yet. So very, very important. All these steps are critical. And then the third part is community. So there are a lot of MS communities out there, and there are different diet communities. There are the MS communities, the MS Society communities. But the difference between our community and the other ones is that these people are recovering. If you treat the cause, if you treat the infections that are making you sick, what I can promise, because this is one question people ask, is, Pam, what is your success rate? MS is not a mystery. it is caused by infections. Unfortunately, we all don't have exactly the same infections. We know that because people are responding to different parasite medications, but it is very similar, right? It's treating parasites, treating fungus, and sometimes we have to treat the Lyme, but usually with herbs. And so as we do several cycles of this for somebody who's not very disabled, who's quite active, still working, could still walk, it might take you 3 or 4 cycles to become completely symptom-free. Not to say that you're not going to continue to treat for a few more. You might treat for 4 to 6 cycles because we want to make sure that we let the eggs hatch and kill them off again and reach all the hard-to-reach areas like the biofilms. And so the key is that with this plan, it's really, really important to be setting the stage properly, getting clarity, and then treating. So I'm going to talk a little bit about treating too, because this is the greatest value of the Live Disease Free Academy. At this point in time, we do not have good tests for the parasites that are making us sick. All right. So, and I should just backtrack. So what I can promise is that the students that followed all the steps with excellence and take my course corrections, their disease process stops. And they always have a lot of recovery, and it's always more than they thought possible. And now we're starting to see things more than I thought possible. I can never promise people are going to walk again, but we're seeing people that have had multiple sclerosis for almost 30 years. After several treatment cycles, they're able to stand and start to use walkers and start to take steps. And they may not have walked for over 10 years, which is 10 or 15 years, which is crazy. So it is a very exciting time for people that suffer with MS, and not just MS, because I'm going to be sharing what we've had a few students now. One student leading the path, recovering from PLS, which is a slower progressing version of ALS, brutal diseases, incurable. She's at a 7 out of 10 with improvements. She's been sharing picture or videos of her being able to jump off the ground again. She's walking. She's able to walk without her cane. I've shared on previous Facebook Live about her. So then now we have another Lisa who found Lisa V and saw her improvements that they're both treating, but these are incurable diseases and they are getting their life back. Amazing. So this is not just MS. All chronic disease is caused by different infections. So again, the Live Disease Free Academy is number 1, a course. It's a members area. Number 2, it is getting clarity every week, getting all your questions answered. I know you personally in the academy. I know I'm going through your workbook, so I know what you're thinking, what you're eating, what your blood work is, what your supplements, what your symptoms, what your health history. I know where people get stuck, and so I can guide you, and that's why I need updates every single week in the academy. Not a big story, just point form is great. And the community. The community is so invaluable because a lot of us are stuck in our homes, especially with this virus outbreak that we've had. And even when there is no virus, we're quite disabled. We don't feel well. Many of us are not working. And so we're stuck at home. We might find groups where, people are following different eating plans and they might be having some basic benefits. But wouldn't it be nice to be part of a group where people are getting their life back, where the impossible is taking place? And it's not impossible. We're just treating infections and we're not perfect. We're learning, but we are definitely ahead of the pack. And my hope and my goal is that we are right now working with a growing number of doctors and practitioners that are learning how to recognize parasites and how to treat parasites. But this is a lost skill for the vast majority of not just the medically trained doctors, but also our integrative practitioners, anyone who can write prescriptions. So that would include functional medicine and even naturopaths. They might prescribe herbs. They might treat protozoa with medications, the functional medicine, some of them. But the level of parasitic infestation is such that it is so huge, and I know this because I've seen hundreds and hundreds of pictures of worms, And it shocks me, and I think, how can people live when they have so many worms in them? And I see the symptom improvements when people are passing them, when they get killed, how symptoms are just released very, very quickly. And so this is like literally just flushing them out. And so if you guys have questions about the Academy, make sure you fill in your questions there. So one of the biggest challenges that our students have is finding practitioners, because again, they'll say, okay, let's do a stool test. And the stool test will come back false negative, or let's do a DNA test or a GI mapping test. And so what I do is I help my students get access to practitioners for not just prescriptions, but also because we don't have good tests, we don't know which parasites we have, then what we do is we take samples of the treatments and then we go to practitioners who do energy testing, and we're able to find out which treatments test the best for us. So which treatments will restore our balance, will make us stronger, will treat the infections that we're dealing with. And those are the ones that are going to be prescribed. So again, with the community, we have a closed Facebook group where we share recipes and research and successes, and people can find a buddy to be accountable to, not to give advice. They come to me and ask questions because everyone's in the course learning, right? And so they come to me for questions, but they go there and they say, nope, you shouldn't be doing that. Remember what Pam said, or high five, way to go. So it's that love and support, because sometimes we have family members, they love us to pieces, but maybe they don't believe in what we're doing. And we don't have that support, and we need that, especially in the early stages while we are recovering. And then a lot of people that get well, they're just gone. They're like birds that fly out of the nest and they're just gone. So that is a wonderful place to get love and support. And some of our students have shared that they have made lifelong friendships in our Wellness Champion community. And if you'd like to see some of their successes, go to YouTube, Live Disease Free, and also on our Facebook. I think there is, just YouTube is easiest, because I know that Danielle built a playlist of successes there. So you can listen to people's experiences. Go to our website, livediseasefree.com, livediseasefree.com. You will see right on the front page, it'll scroll through a whole bunch of successes, and you can hear them. You can see them. You can hear them. You can hear their experience, and I can guarantee you'll have tears in your eyes with some of the wonderful things that they're sharing. Watch my training, my masterclass training, How to Recover from Multiple Sclerosis, how myself and many wellness champions have recovered and were symptom-free of MS. Make sure to watch that first, and then from there, then if you're ready and you want a plan, you want to treat these infections, then you can book a time. You'll have to fill out a form. So watch my masterclass training and it'll give you instructions. What you can do is you can book a time, fill out a form first, and then as we receive the form, we'll make sure you're ready. Then we'll send you an email, and I'm going to send you the coach-a-thon, which really explains a little bit more in detail of all the steps we take, like for treating, etc., and the cost of the program. All of that information is in the coach-a-thon. So you can review all of that, and then you and I can chat. And actually, from my call last Wednesday, I had a whole bunch of people that they just joined the program without even talking to me. We've been talking after the fact, but you can join at any time. And as soon as you join, then you are starting to build your plan to recover. So if you found what I shared to be really helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And to hear when the next video is going to be released, make sure to hit that notification bell. Please help me get the word out. We have to change the way we are treating multiple sclerosis and all chronic diseases. We have to help practitioners and people know in general that their symptoms and their diseases are caused by infections. So you can help by sharing this video. Thank you so much for being a wellness champion. Take care and bye-bye for now.